Okay, it is recording. Pause.
Hello, amigas, and welcome to Amiga Handle Your Shit podcast. I have such beautiful souls, as you all know, amigas out there in the world, that I only bring the best of the best. And this certainly is a beautiful, tripod, if you will, because they're three amazing badass Latinas, and I am so excited to have them here, and I know you're going to enjoy this episode. So let me tell you a little bit about them. So we're going to be really talking about this amazing, beautiful children's book called Grandes Dreamers, and how it all began. And it began with this beautiful introduction between all of them. And so one of my friends, her name is Roseanne Djelmane, and she's a fellow Trojan, so fight on. Fight on. She's a senior VP of Neighborhood Lending Protection Manager for a national bank. Pretty badass woman, if you ask me. So she is super connected. So this amiga then introduced me to Anna Alvarado, who is this Latinx artist, storyteller, illustrator, badass amiga, who is the illustrator of this beautiful children's book called Grandes Dreamers. And then the author herself, Argelia Atilano. Oh my God. Okay, amigas, let me just tell you a little bit. Because as soon as I heard her name, I said, wait a minute. I know that name. She's from Caleb. Okay, so I used to, back in the day, whenever I was with my dad in his car in the morning, I would hear her with Omar, and I'm like, I can't even believe that she's here on Amiga Handle Your Shit podcast, amigas. This woman is fantastic.
For a bell.
Yeah. Ah! I love that. So you all know she's a radio broadcaster. She's an author, and she's here on Amiga Handle Your Shit podcast. So amigas, welcome so much here to Amiga Handle Your Shit podcast.
Yay.
Thank you. Thank you, Jackie.
Anna.
Oh my God. What a treat. How amazing to have these amazing, beautiful, God, I feel so lucky. I am the luckiest woman on this planet because I get to do something that I enjoy doing, which is interviewing badass Latinas on this podcast. So the name of the podcast is Amiga Handle Your Shit. And of course, we are going to tell you how they have been handling their shit, amigas, and I'm excited. So,
let me go bring the wine.
I love it.
I would, but it's the girls. It's still kind of daylight, and I don't want my little girls to be like, "Mommy." They told me, "Mommy."
They'll understand when they're in college,
or when they have kids.
Yes. Especially when they have kids, right? Yes. Oh my goodness. So, amigas, I like to know, how did this amazing connection happen? Because a beautiful book as this children's book was made, it just doesn't happen automatically. There has to be some sort of love, some sort of soul searching, something that connected all three of you. So let me start with Roseanne, because I know Roseanne is like the connector of the connectors.
Yes.
Right? Yes. So Roseanne, please tell us, how did this endeavor happen?
So Jackie, you mentioned, luck. I don't believe in luck. I think I'm the most unlucky person in the world, but I do believe in divine intervention and destiny. And so I was a big fan of Caleb and used to listen every morning on my commute to work to Argelia and Omar. But one afternoon, I was driving home and another broadcaster was actually interviewing them. And so I had the opportunity to hear Argelia talk about her story, about how she was raised by an immigrant mother, single mother, and how she had to walk to school, because they didn't have money for the bus. And I was intrigued. So at the same time, I was part of a nonprofit Proyecto Pastoral, and we were going to do a Woman of Impact event. And I said, oh my goodness, Argelia needs to be part of this event. And because she is a story of these immigrant women that Proyecto Pastoral serves. So my brain started working. I said, how can I get a hold of her? So another connection, which is how I met Anna. So a friend of mine owned an art gallery, Chimaya's in East LA. And he used to tell me that Argelia used to shop there, okay? And that's how I met Anna, because she had her beautiful artwork displayed there. But that was years later. So anyway, so then I also knew some people at Univision. And so I basically started making calls and said, how can I, get in touch with Argelia? Because I always know that a warm introduction is better than just a random email. And so, I connected with Argelia. I basically then asked her and told her about Proyecto. We did a visit, she fell in love, and she said yes. So when we did that event, we gave Argelia, who is a moderator, and the women that were on the panel an award. And I believe, we've all gotten plaques, what do we do with them? We put them on our wall, but we don't really, and I wanted it to be more. So that's when I thought about Anna, and I said, you know what? I'm going to go to Anna and say, can I use your beautiful artwork and, framed, and give those away as the award, with personalized with the plaque with their names. And so that's how this connection happened. And then they can tell the story of, how they partnered together to illustrate the book.
Wow, you know what? That's like you said, it's the divine intervention, the divine connection. Really, step by step by step by step, you were guided. And finally, you were able to meet Argelia through Anna. Okay, so now we know this amazing connection. Who spoke to who first?
Roseanne spoke to me first.
Okay.
And yes, her, just from the very first moment, I saw her passion for this community organization, which I had never heard of. And I felt ashamed of myself. Oh my gosh, like I grew up in East LA, Boyle Heights. How come I don't know about Proyecto Pastoral? So I'll always be grateful to Roseanne for introducing me to this wonderful organization that as soon as I stepped in and met Cynthia and the staff, I was blown away by the amazing work that they do for the women, the single moms, the moms that are working and don't know where to leave their children, the homeless moms, I was blown away by all their work. And as soon as they offered me this privilege of moderating this event for women that are looking for guidance, I said, of course. I was very nervous. I will admit it. I was very nervous because I had never done something like that for this organization, but I felt so at home. I felt so comfortable. I think Roseanne remembers once I started, and Anna knows this too. Once I'm always nervous in the beginning, but people assume that I can just speak and be so relaxed about it. But one thing is to speak in front of a mic with nobody looking at you except for your husband. And another thing is to speak to actual people, but just to see those faces. I saw my mom in that audience, and I just felt like this is the daughter. I'm representing their daughter,
Yeah.
And then to meet the powerful women on the panel, and then to get introduced with this beautiful award, which is, you're right, Roseanne, I can flip the camera here and show you all the awards right there, and they'll stay right there, but they're just nothing like Anna's, which is her art. At the time, I was looking for an illustrator because I was already thinking of writing this children's book because of what Camila, my daughter, had seen in her classroom, the deficiency of Latina stories in instruction and books. So I was already brewing, like, I need to write a book about including our Latina figures, trailblazers. But I was like, I need a badass Latina artist. And I want her to be a mom. And if she can be from East LA, from the barrio, that's even better.
Even
And
better.
if she has a girl, bingo.
Wow.
And it was Anna, like everything I had envisioned. Oh, and get this. If her name starts with an A and her last name starts with an A like me, I think I could drop the
Oh
mic.
yeah. Oh my God. You definitely dropped the mic on that
We're
one.
the double A team.
Yes. Double A team. Oh, I like that. I
The double
like
A
that.
team, yes.
So, okay. So then you meet your double A. And
I
then
need my
the
double A for her art.
and so then the conversation starts how? Like, did you guys meet at a coffee shop to start discussing this book? Oops, sorry.
It started thanks to social media. As soon as I came home with this beautiful frame, which I just told Camila to bring it over so I can show it to you. I took a picture of it because I wanted to show it off. And I wanted to thank Proyecto Pastoral for having me. And I wanted to also show women that this is a gift that was, you know, redundancy here, gifted to me that I was not going to give to my daughters. Like, because the message was so powerful, right?
Right.
And so I shared that on my Instagram account, and her fans came out, her followers came out saying, that's Anna Alvarado's art. That's Anna Alvarado's art. And I had seen her name on the bottom.
Yeah.
But the way they blew it up, like, that's Anna Alvarado's art. I love her art. And they tagged her on the comments. And that's when I went, bleep. And there was her whole beautiful, vibrant world on Instagram. And I said, gracias Dios, this is what I want for the book. DM'd her, I kid you not, 2 hours later, maybe at the most, Anna replied. Less than a week later, we were having coffee in downtown LA, talking about collective dream.
Oh
Yeah.
my God. Oh my God.
And
so
Anna take the
yes.
rest.
How was that?
Yeah.
How was that?
So
meeting?
so the beauty of it is that when Roseanne came in to pick the pieces, I was intrigued by how thoughtful she was about picking each piece for each of the women. It wasn't like, oh, give me what you think is the best, what you think they'll like. She was very specific. This image is going to go for so-and-so. This image is going to go for so-and-so. And then she told me, this is going to go for Argelia Atilano. And I was like, oh, that's great. And so she invited me to attend the event. I was going to try my hardest to make it. I had a work function. And Stephen and Dan were like, I love Stephen and Dan. I know Roseanne feels the same way about Argelia. We all feel the same way about Stephen and Dan. They're beautiful, beautiful people. And so Stephen's like, this would be a great introduction for you to meet Argelia. And I said, I know. I said, but you know what? If it's meant to be, and Dan and Stephen knows this about me, if it's meant to be, it's going to happen. It's all in God's timing. It's gonna happen. So now we fast forward. Argelia says, I would love to meet with you. I said, I'm at work. I could meet you. So we meet down the street at a coffee shop. We go, big round table, big, beautiful round table. We put our phones. I love to say this because I don't know who does this, but we did it and we both did it. We put our phones in the middle of the table face down.
Without telling each other.
And we sat there for almost 3 hours, finishing each other's like questions, like sentences. We had so much in common. And she says, okay, girl, you know, I have it in me to create a children's book. And this is why. And so she shares it with me. And I said, you're not going to believe this. I have a desire to illustrate a children's book, but I don't want to write. I'm not a writer. Like, I could make things look pretty, but to sit there and tell the story in written form, that is not my gift. And so she's like, let's do this. And so we're like, okay, let's do this. So our girls at the time were 8, 9, and 10. So Bella is 8 at the time, Tatiana's 9, Gami is 10. So it was perfect. So the next thing to do was to bring the girls together. Now, what are their chances that the way we connect, her and I, was the same way the girls would connect? It was like family. It was like if they were cousins, and it was really beautiful. And so it became this friendship. And as we played around with ideas and what we wanted to, the beauty of this whole thing is respecting what the gift is and giving space to the other person, the co-creator in a project, right? She trusted me 110%. I trusted her 110%. And then when we would come together, it fit perfect. Like it was pieces to a puzzle that it was like, oh, there was never, the only ones who would change any like written form or anything were the girls, because Argelia would write and then the girls would be the ones to read
They
all
were
the
our editors.
stories.
Oh, they were the editors.
They were
They
the
were the
editors,
editors.
and they
Oh
would
my
tell us,
God.
yay, nay, expand more on this. I like this, you know,
Wow.
and you know, Archie did a wonderful job right from the beginning. And so for my end, there was nothing that I said, oh, I think you should go a different route or cut here or cut there. In fact, I would be like, you're not cutting anything. Like this is, no, you need to tell this story.
I would tell Anna, oh, I think I went overboard with Selena, which I did go over. It's like, you're not gonna cut anything. You're not. This is who you, because sometimes I felt like some of the stories were a little bit lengthier than the others. I was like,
Yes,
oh,
yeah.
I need to like. She's like, don't. No.
You're like, I gotta be equal opportunist for all of them, right?
Yeah.
But
And so so we did that and we created, and all along the way, you know, obviously there's so many trailblazers, right? The list was long, and it's like, what do we want to do? And we had all these ideas, and this was just one book at first. And then when we started to talk and we started to find out like our stories were they were closer than we even originally thought, then it just became this, let's form this partnership. Let's create more books. This wasn't about getting rich. And we said that from the very beginning. This isn't about making money. This is about putting these stories in the hands of as many children as possible. This is so our kids, our young Latino community, they could see themselves represented so that they can be empowered. And so as we created and we poured our heart into it, Argie will agree with me, we started to realize this was for us. Yeah. This is for like the little girl in us that wanted it, that didn't have it. And I remember we would talk about it, and constantly Roseanne came up. If it wasn't for Roseanne, if it wasn't for Roseanne. And so many times we wanted to text her, but then there was nothing like, no, she has to hear this story in person. Because oftentimes like these trailblazers whose stories are told and are out there, they have no idea how like impactful their influence is. And Roseanne did that in a way. You know, I'm a firm believer. I'm not religious. I'm very spiritual, and I do feel like being attentive and sensitive to just God telling you move in these different ways. It's like if, I don't know, he whispers in her ear, like there's these things, because Roseanne would stay connected with me throughout the pandemic. We touched base a few times, and I'm like, I want to tell her, but I wanted a finished book. I wanted to have it in my hands. I wanted to say to her in person, do you realize that because you did this, you selected me to give to Argelia this piece that spoke to her so much.
Right here.
This is what came out of it.
Oh my God, that's gorgeous. That is beautiful.
And so Roseanne, I mean, I said it to you the other night, you have no idea. Your fingerprints are all over that book. And so it's really such an incredible blessing to be able to share, to be in a space where your light is so bright, and to be able to say like, oh, you're like our fairy godmother.
Yes, la luz encandila. So much so, right? Like it's just so bright. You're just like in awe of its majesty, in its glory, and its beauty. Oh my God, Roseanne.
I'm like, I'm speechless and lost for words. And, you know, that's not like me, but, you know, we have stages in our life, and I just turned 65 this year. So I'm in the, latter
Yeah,
stage
Yeah.
of my career and my life. Not my life, hopefully, because my mom's still alive. She's 91.
Oh, yeah.
But as you get older and you reflect on the things you do, I'm, and I think Latinas in general, sometimes we're our own worst critics, right? We compare ourselves, or we say, I should have done this, or I should have done a better job on this or that, or I should have earned more money. I should have saved more money. I should have, done all these things. And so as you get older, you have more things to reflect upon. And so hearing that, something that I did, because always making connections, not to benefit myself, but to help other people has been a passion of mine. And so to hear that I did make a difference, I mean, that right there is really, you guys made my year.
Aw.
Oh, so beautiful. And I'm so glad that I had the opportunity to meet you at this beautiful birthday party of a mutual friend of ours. And I'm like, when she said about your book, I was like, oh my God, what a blessing, because I wasn't even supposed to go to the birthday party. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I was divinely led. I was divinely put in a place where I got to meet these beautiful souls, Anna and Roseanne. And then Roseanne saying, hey, I know what, we're going to be on your podcast. And I'm like, okay, all right, let's do it. And now I'm meeting you, Argelia, someone that I've heard on the radio when I was, a couple of years ago. I'm like, hello. I'm like, yes.
You know what? And everything is connected. Just like Roseanne connected me to Proyecto Pastoral, hence Anna and Gina and her mother and all these amazing, obviously your daughter, Fatima. It's now I'm talking to Fatima about a beautiful project, through her organization. And so everything's connected. And I really feel that God does know this is who you're going to meet now during this path. You might not want to see, you don't see it yet, because we question ourselves all the time. Should I be there? Well, what was the whole point of that? What did I get out of it? But you don't see the results until sometimes years later. And you're like, now I get it. And it's insane, because this is a very obviously personal project for me, because it's inspired with my daughter's situation. But in the end, I can tell you this, now that I'm closing a chapter of my life by saying goodbye to 20 years at Caleb, it was the most difficult decision of my career. And what gave me the strength to move forward and listen to my heart was inspiration that I got from the women in this book. These women writing these stories gave me so much power to say, Argelia, it's time to spread your wings. It's time to grow bigger, break out. There's more to you. And had I stayed there, I would have never seen it.
Yeah.
But I was seeing it, and God was telling me through this book, there's more to you besides the radio industry.
And Argelia, read the award. What does the award say? Because it has wings. So this is how I saw her.
This is why it spoke to me. Feet, what do I need you for when I have wings to fly? Which is a famous quote by Frida Kahlo.
Yeah.
And just the whole project in itself is
Amigas. This I'm sorry. No, I'm just
speaks to me, and all of us, I think.
Oh, it does. It definitely does. And for amigas out there, I know you can't see it, but she's holding a picture of a Frida Kahlo with wings. Just beautiful. I hope my team puts it on the audiograms so you all can see it. Wow. Yes. Oh my God.
Yes, no, it's the famous Friditas that Anna creates with her own style, inspired by Frida Kahlo. But this is a whole Anna's touch, Anna's magic, touching women, and touching the girl inside of us. So
yes,
who would have thought that this book and this art was gonna give me the courage and push me Do it. You're not getting any younger. You need to pin stuff down. You need to start making your other dreams come true. And the only way it's going to happen is by letting go of that one place that you love so much, but it's not allowing you to grow more.
Exactly.
It was painful, but it was time.
You had to create space for all these amazing blessings that are coming your way. Yeah, sometimes it's hard, it's crushing sometimes, because I know that I've had to do that as well in my life with practicing law as a litigator. I just kind of had to got to go somewhere else, and blossom and figure this shit out. Because like, for instance, like this podcast, I'm like, I did not know how to do a podcast. Hello, I'm a lawyer. And so, but there was something that was calling. And just like you, Argelia, there was something that was already calling. God works in mysterious ways, I always say. And look, what a beautiful blessing for you to create these stories. And not only this, but like even having your family be a part of it. These little girls, because they were your think tank.
Yeah.
Like, what a blessing, right? I mean, 8, 9, 10, like you could not have done this even better,
And they kept us on our toes because the pandemic came and it stopped the project, like it stopped all of us. And so there came a point where Anna and I were like wondering, is this ever going to really see the light? Because we went through a lot of obstacles, a lot of challenges with publishing the book. It wasn't easy. I mean, we had the drive, we had the passion, we had the energy, we had the talent, the art and the writing, but we needed a publishing company to support us in our dream. And that was a challenge because unfortunately not a lot of publishing companies see the void that we saw as Latina moms. And that was a challenge to get through certain heads, but we didn't give up. We're like, okay, if that's not going to happen through the traditional route, let's put on our, what do you say? Your big
girl chonies.
And let's self-publish. And that was a whole different ballgame that we never envisioned. But you know what? The girls were like, when is a book coming out? Mommy, when is a book coming out? And we're like, it's coming out. And we're like, we don't know if it's coming out. But, like you have these 3 beautiful reason and motor pushing us. And we don't know if it's coming out. But for them, we're like, we're committed. We have to deliver.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
And what we didn't realize was when we chose to self-publish and take on the project, we went and we restarted from scratch, not the writing or the art, but just redoing this whole layout, book, everything. We didn't know what we were doing. We always say we have a small but mighty team. And then it's printed. Now it's done. And it's like, you guys are going to launch, you're going to launch the book. And it's like, you should have prepared a launch campaign 4 or 5 months ago. And we're like, oh, okay, well, now we know for the next book. But we went into it like, you know what? We keep doing good. We keep feeling like we're listening to God's call and sharing our gift and moving it forward. We keep saying we're depositing in the universe's account, right? And it's going to come back and doors are going to open. And you know what happens? Because of the relationships that both Argelia and I have, these doors were open. Luzma from Univision, from Despierta America was like, I need to launch this. You need to launch your book here. Like, this is it, insistent. And there we go to Miami. We meet with another friend, dear friend of Argelia's, that says, and he was the first person that I remember hearing this. And I will always be grateful to Hyman for this. He said, I want to be part of this movement. Wait, what? It's a movement? Like, I remember hearing that. And then we had a meeting and Joey came on board, who is this badass, just with the station, and said we could do X, Y, and Z with Hyman. They came and Joey's like, I believe in this. I believe in this movement. There's that word again. And I was like, wow. And we got off the phone. Remember, Argelia? These men.
Yes.
These men see it and they're calling it a movement.
They're calling
Wow.
it a movement. They're calling it a movement. Jaime has a daughter. Jaime is the general manager of KLCS PBS, so he sees the value, which is LAUSD's official TV station. So he sees the value of representation, because LAUSD, I mean, let's talk about the percentage of
Right.
Yeah, yeah,
students,
yeah.
right?
Right.
And then you have this producer, Joey, who is not a father, but is an uncle. He sees the value of wanting his niece to see these faces. And this is a man that is not even Latino,
Yeah.
but he sees the value of diversity and inclusiveness.
Yeah.
So these angels, people that we've known across the years through the industry, I told Anna, the day that we got the book delivered from the self-publishing company, I went outside in my yard. I went into the sky. I told God, it's done. My part is done. The rest is up to you. You just follow the way, and I am right behind your back. And that's what he's been doing.
Yeah.
Wow.
And that's it. From there, they came and they created these beautiful vignettes. We have very little input other than Argelia's story, narrating it, and my art. Like, that was our contribution, and all that other magic, they put it together. It aired. It was on a loop for the entire Hispanic Heritage Month, like these beautiful pieces. And it just kept going, the momentum. We kept people, we want you to be a part of this, and we want you to be X, Y, and Z. And even the beauty of Roseanne, that night that you gave the award to Argelia, Gina was also a part of that ceremony.
Okay.
And then yesterday, Argelia was speaking at her event, and Gina is a powerhouse. That beautiful woman is, wow, amazing. And here
Okay, let me interrupt. Gina, the lawyer?
yes.
Gina the lawyer.
Ah,
Gina Zapanta.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes. And so it's like full circle. And you know what was really neat was that Gina, she gifted so many books to her attendees, and she's gifting to the school, and like just her heart. And so we're like, wow, these people are stepping up from the community and saying, you know what, I want to be a part of that. I want to share this. And what do you do? I sit in my car sometimes, and I just like, oh my God, like, I don't know what else you could do. Yesterday was such a high. Like, it was just such an incredible high. That's how that day was. Monday was, sorry. And then Tuesday comes along, and we have all these different things. And then Argelia gives all this good news. She's sending it. And then we get an email. Well, no, I go online. I have to share this story. And I'm going to share it on the podcast, but it's fun. So this will be a good story.
You're going to get an exclusive, Jackie.
That's right.
You
know
will.
what? This is what's going to happen. It's like this podcast is going to be probably 3 podcast episodes.
Yeah, no. And this is what you guys are going to love this. And so I'm looking at the orders. I was away. I was out of town last week. So I'm looking at the orders, and I see a name that looks familiar. Olga Castorio. Oh my God. No, that can't be. And I said, no, that can't be her. That can't be our trailblazer. She didn't buy it. She placed an order on our website. No. And so then I look at her email address, and I was like, she has the word fly in her email, right? And I'm like, Argie, I need to talk to you. So I'm like, can I? And so we talk on the phone, and she was like, I think that's her. I said, okay. And I said, all right, I'm gonna go out on a limb. I'm gonna send this person a crazy message. So I sent her a message, and I said, thank you for your order. I'm gonna go out on a limb here, but are you the Olga, right? And then I go into this whole thing, and I'm like, the OG fly girl. Like, could this be you?
Like, could this be you, the one in the book?
And she said yes. She said yes.
She was buying the book.
She was buying.
Oh my God. Wow.
And I was like, oh my my God. And so, yeah, so I told Argelia, and she was so appreciative and thankful and sending us hugs and wants to share it with her family. And here we're like, we were trying to find a way to get this book. We have a box of stuff for you, like all these things that we prepared for all our trailblazers, but it's hard to get connected.
Yes.
So
Yes,
as much
yes.
as we're trying, you know, it's kind of like what Roseanne said, right? You need that warm introduction.
Yes.
I
yes.
mean, we might get it, and we're going to believe, we're going to continue to believe that we're going to get them.
Absolutely.
But in the
believe it.
meantime, you know, we could just send it to a PO box, but then you never know if they get it.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
so this was such a highlight last night.
That is so awesome. So, amigas out there, if you're connected to any of these 12 trailblazers, please
Yes.
email us. I may, okay, just don't quote me on it, but the Honorable Sotomayor, my beautiful angel friend, has this amazing son, smart as can be, who has worked in the government political side and has been at parties hosted by the Honorable Sotomayor. So I will make sure to get in contact with my girlfriend to see whether that could be a possibility.
Thank you.
Okay. So
yes, thank you.
I'm definitely, because this is amazing. These are 12 amazing, beautiful souls that we get to hear from. And this is not the only book that's going to be released by you guys, right?
Yeah, we have our ideas. We came back from Miami. We laugh and we say, we can't even tell you what the trees look like in Miami because we were just so busy. And we were there for 3 days, huh?
3 days.
Yeah, 3 days. And it was nonstop. And we came back on the plane ride, and we literally, for that 5-hour trip, we were brainstorming. Okay, next book, third book. Okay, put this for the fourth book. Okay, this is what we're gonna do. And our list, and this is, oh my God, we're gonna tackle this, yes, and what are we gonna do? And on top of everything else that we have, because she's, you know, Omar and Argelia, they still have a lot going on. Yeah. And so we're excited to see what's in the works. And so we have O&A, and then, you know, I have all my art stuff and the kids and you know, the whole thing. And so we're like, we're going to have to create this whole collection. So it's been exciting.
Yes. Oh my God. And please let me know how I can support you, because this is, I mean, I would love to be, you know, I don't know, hopefully I'm able to make that connection for you all. I want to be a part of this, and in whatever fashion, even if it means that I want to, as your secretary, let me know.
Oh, sweet. Thank you. No, but the book has been receiving a lot of support from teachers. So if there's teachers watching this, thank you so much. We've heard so much from teachers that have literally taken out of their own pocket to not buy just one book, but 5 to 10 books for their classroom. We have teachers that have their students already doing book reports based on the story of one of the trailblazers. Mind you, this book is a bilingual book. So all the dual immersion schools, this is what they're looking for. It comes at a perfect time. When we started to work on this project in 2018, ethnic studies was still not on the table. Now, I mean, as you know, ethnic studies is officially a course, you know, in schools in California. I'm not saying it's mandatory, but now it's being offered because California became the first state to implement ethnic studies, thank God, right, in public schools. And this is like, it fits in perfectly. We're not saying that this book should be part of the curriculum. We just want the book to be visible in classrooms, in school libraries, where these libraries need to be updated because they have very old books that need to be updated with the proper information, by the way. And our kids deserve better. Our kids deserve quality books. And that's why Anna and I, we didn't care how much we were going to invest in the hardcover and the quality of the books. Our children deserve to see themselves represented in a high quality book that's going to become a collector's item. That's what we want in their homes, in their hands. And it's not just for the child at the house, it's also for the mom, la tia, la abuelita, that because of their upbringing, they didn't get to hear these stories. Like I didn't get to hear these stories when I was a child. And so it's becoming a very multi-generational.
Yeah.
Yes.
Argelia is so right, because we've been finding, so it's so interesting because we've realized in this movement, right? And it's like, we're still, it has to roll off our tongue. So we keep saying it more and more. We're finding that the support that we're getting, not just from the Latino community, the Latinx community, we're getting it from outside as well. And there's this beauty, right? So Argelia and I talked about, in creating this, we wanted to build bridges. My background, my corporate background was in philanthropy, fundraising. I raised money for some of the world's largest organizations, and I did it for over 20 years. And I loved what I did. And I always would say, like, yes, we raise money for these organizations, but I'm in the business of building bridges. I'm in the business of connecting people. I am about relationships, thoughtful ask, best intentions, putting your best foot forward, making positive changes, bringing community together, whatever you can do in your, like, making an impact could happen in your backyard, because that could have a domino effect, right? And so in doing this, we've been finding the outreach, the hands that are coming in are not just the color of our hands. There's all these beautiful multicolor, and the beauty of sisterhood. Oh my gosh. So we've committed, Argelia and I have committed, and we said, you know what? We don't care the number. We want to have these discussions. We want to be in these social circles. So we don't know anything about law. We don't know anything about real estate, right? We don't care. We want to be in these groups having a conversation with moms, with tias, with dads, talking about empowering our generation.
Yes.
That's what we want to do. We want to make sure that we are there, and we are starting, and we're having this dialogue that is moving forward, because it's not stopping with us. We're taking the leads from all the other wonderful Latina and Latino authors and publishers and illustrators. We're going along, and we're on that path with them. There's so much, the void is huge. We need more people to come step up and say, let's put our stories out there. So we don't want to complain.
Yeah.
Right? We handled our shit. We said,
hell yeah.
That's it. This is what we're gonna do. We're not gonna complain. So we don't know self-publishing, but you know what? We can figure it out. We don't know how to launch a book. Okay, who cares if we fail? Well, for the next time, it'll be better. And okay, so we're losing some sleep. We'll be better for it.
We lost so much sleep, and we still are. But you know, it's so interesting because, like Anna was saying, she has her career. I have my career. Yeah, I'm taking a pause right now in the broadcasting world, but I have my career. And you know, if you're a mom, you know how busy it is between juggling work and the career, and go get the kids and the homework and the dinner and the workouts and everything. And I'm like, why in the world did I take on this project? Why? Because I know I'm not the only mom that saw this void. I know I'm not. She
did it, and she did it so gracefully. But I saw you navigate that.
So many moms have seen this absence, have seen how our kids come home with assignments, and there's not a Latina figure.
Yeah.
Moms have seen it, and moms have told me, Argelia, qué bueno. So happy you guys did it, because you're right. They don't talk about Latina figures, and not even during Hispanic Heritage Month.
Yeah.
Hardly.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, why, Anna, did we get involved? I don't know. I just felt something. I was so frustrated. Maybe because I lived it as a child, and I'm like, this can't repeat itself in 2018.
We could blame Roseanne. It's Roseanne's fault. See, she planted that seed. There we go. I mean, because I'm sure, like, Roseanne, what was it like for you? I mean, you're such a force, and you've done so much for the community. while handling a full-time job, a career. Your daughter, who I just met yesterday, is doing wonderful things. I mean, you are doing it all.
So, for me, I think as Latinas, we just do it. Like Argelia, you're talking about, you have a career, how did you take this project on? People always ask me that, like, how do you do so much? And and I've told my kids this all the time, is that let your yes be yes and your no be no. So this is how you handle your shit. If you commit to something, before you commit, you better follow through.
Yes.
And that's always, for me, that's been important, is that if I say I'm going to do something, then I'm going to do it, and I'm going to balance and find a way to do it. And so I only get involved in things that I'm passionate about, that mean something to me, and that are going to make a difference, not for me personally or for my name to get out there, but for the community that I'm trying to, make an impact on. And so I think that's how I've handled my shit, is that, I was a single mom, and, I'm so proud of my 2 adult children and my grandchildren. And, I look back now and people say, how did you do it? I don't know. One day at a time. That's how I did it. One day at a time.
Yeah, one day at a time, one foot in front of the other. It's just bit by bit by bit. And one thing I wanted to mention is that, how you were saying that you had no idea how to publish. You didn't know that you needed to have this, like, what is it, the 3 or 4 months, like, launch and all that stuff, right? But here's the thing, and this is the beauty of it, is that action breeds clarity, right?
Right.
So the more you act on something, the more clear you're going to get.
Yes.
And so I love this. And then, and the fact that you have men that also love it, right? And yeah, and considering this as a movement, because amigas, this is a movement. This is a big movement. I'm so uber proud of you all. And I can't wait to not only, I ordered the book and it's supposed to get here, because you have like this, like a premium, there's a special book, like
a box set. Yeah, you have a box set.
Yes, that's what I ordered. I'm like, so I'm gonna get the premium. Come on.
Thank you.
So, I'm excited to receive it, but I also know that once I give it to my daughter, who's 9 years old, this is perfect for her. Perfect. And I want other little amigas to read this book as well. So I'm definitely gonna be ordering some more. I'm gonna spread the news, because amigas, those that are our age know for a fact that we did not have any of these role models, and how important it is to have them, because it would have made life a little bit easier on us.
Yes, definitely. And you know what, I'm going to share something really quick. When I was, a little girl, 8, 9, we didn't get these stories, but we didn't hear about it. So I never complained. I never asked my mom, why didn't they talk about Dolores Huerta when I was in 3rd grade? Because I didn't know. I was oblivious until, you grow up and you're in high school and then you're in college, and it's like, whoa, wait a minute. They've been there all this time. They've been hidden from us. But look at the difference between our generation growing up to how open-minded and how aware are our kids. Why do I say this? Because Hispanic Heritage Month just passed. On the very last day of Hispanic Heritage Month, Annabella, my daughter, 10 years old, gets in the car. Mommy, I'm very disappointed. Today is the last day of Hispanic Heritage Month, and not once did my teacher talk about it. I thought she was going to talk about it today. She didn't talk about it. Wow. And I'm talking about a school that's a public school, okay? Because my girls go to public school because I believe in public education. I'm a product of that. I'm talking about a gifted class, advanced. I'm questioning the teacher. I'm questioning Hispanic Heritage Month is not for us. It's for the rest, the non-Latinos to learn from our contributions.
Right.
But I loved what she did. She spoke up and she said, I want you to write an email to my teacher and tell her that you wrote a book called Grandes Dreamers about 12 Latina trailblazers. And I want you to tell her that on Monday, I'm going to bring the book and I'm going to read a story. So I'm like, you got it, girl. I came home, very diplomatic. Hi, Mrs. I'm not going to call her out.
Right.
I diplomatically told her what this mission was all about. She said, please, I'd like to see it. On Monday, Annabella comes home saying, guess what? I not only read the story, I gave the book to the teacher because she deserves to have it in the classroom because I want to see it there every day. And guess what? During lunchtime, I saw her grab the book. She walked to the principal's office. She comes out, looks for me in the playground and says, Annabella, tell your mother, thank you. We're going to buy these books for your school library.
Woo! I
And I was
love
like,
that.
You did that.
Yes.
She did
Yes.
that because she raised her voice. I would have never done that in the 3rd or 4th or 5th grade because I didn't know that these women existed, but Annabella is aware, like all of our girls and boys are aware.
Yes.
And that is power.
That is power. That is so much. Oh my God. Wow.
So that
I
to
love
me says, Anna, we've done something right.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes,
Oh my
when she
gosh.
shared this story, I was like in tears. I was like, this is why we did this. This is it. And it was so important. Our selection of women, it's a diverse group of women. It was important for our readers to be able to still see them in spotlight and be able to follow them and know them, not just someone who has passed or someone who is popular because that's all we ever hear is, and we adore her, Dolores Huerta and Alan Ochoa. We love them and we've honored them and they're in our book. But there was also Sandra Cisneros, beautiful author. There's Justice Sonia Sotomayor, like, oh my God, AOC. I mean, we even put J-Lo in there, and some people might have been like, why did you put J-Lo? Why not? Do you see everything that woman accomplished?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, you look at her contributions.
Right.
Let's look at what these women did. Rita Moreno, like the list, Lori Hernandez, it goes on. We were thoughtful in who we put in the book.
Yes.
For our first 12. We have the list, we're continuing, the list keeps growing. We keep coming up with all these different ideas. We're like, oh my God, did we set out just to illustrate books and write children's books? You know what? Yeah, I think that God was like, in addition to all the other things that you do, this is also the gift and the platform. So we're going to do right by those gifts.
Oh my God, music to my ears, my Lord. What
And
a
Jackie,
blessing.
I was going to say, I think that the public is very hungry for this information, especially since we didn't learn it in school books. For Hispanic Heritage Month, I actually took something out of a good friend of mine, what she did during Black History Month, and she did a daily post of not so well-known Black figures, on social media. So I did that for Hispanic Heritage Month. And yes, I did post about, the Dolores Huertas that everybody knows, but I tried to make a post on things that maybe they weren't as familiar about her, or whoever I highlighted. And I did both men and women. And at the end, I got so many people that told me, I looked forward to your daily posts. And most importantly, I learned something. And I told them, you know what, so did I, because it forced me to do the research and to get this out there. And at one point I go, is anybody looking at this? I don't have a huge following or so, but to get the feedback that I did just shows what the need is out in the community to learn about trailblazers that have made a difference and learn more about their personal struggles, because we all have them, right? I think sometimes as women, we think about, and social media can be a tricky monster because either people post just the fun and the flowers, or you have those on the other extreme that posts the negative, and you're like, why are you putting that out there, you know? And all I say is we have to be authentic. And as people and as women, you know, it's not always easy. And but we have to know that, you know, that too will pass. At those tough times, that we're going to get through them, that there is hope. And that's what I always think about when I, you know, go through a hard time, or when I now as an older woman, when I have women that come to me for counseling, you know, about marriage, because, you know, marriages are hard, you know, and, you know, people, they think that everybody's is perfect. It's not, you know, and there's seasons that we go through in relationships. So
Yes. Yes. And the great thing that we continue to illustrate that all through the breakdowns, there's always breakthroughs, right? And we're not perfect human beings, but that God bless us for not being perfect. Because when we're perfect, we're not learning. But when we are imperfect, there's so much opportunity for growth.
Yes, and I think people forget to see the beauty in being imperfect.
Right.
No, we're always saying being different is special, being unique, being weird and rare. It's beautiful, but then at the same time, we're striving for perfection. Then where does the message go then? Am I not supposed to be different because that's what makes me unique and beautiful, right? Mm-hmm. But yes, when you see the lives of, you know, certain people, oh, she's got it all, she's beautiful, perfect marriage, beautiful family. I see it on the social media, no suffering. No. Everybody's going through their struggles. All these stories, these women now with their success, we see the success, but that's what children need to see. They need to see what they lived before in order to get to that success. And success is not being famous or rich. Success is doing what they love.
Right. It's measured in so many different ways.
Right.
And it's so important to realize that we often don't know what our gifts are at a young age. Mm-hmm. Right? I didn't step out. I didn't decide to leave my corporate career that I worked my ass off, right? And loved to decide that, you know, when I was in my mid 40s, I'm going to leave the corporate world behind to pursue a full-time job as an artist. Like, what? Like, it was crazy. But you know what? To my then 9-year-old, I remember the first day I picked her up from school after I had left my job, her teacher said, "Congratulations, Mrs. Alvarado. Tatiana told me that you left the corporate world behind to pursue your dreams." So all I know is that for me, being able to do that with my children, even at this age, it was important. And Argie and I both say this, you know, faith over fear, and being able to step out. And for all your podcast listeners, all of us, we all took a gamble on ourselves, right?
Yes, we did.
It's good to be uncomfortable. This is the good uncomfortable. It's okay to fail, right? It's okay to not know.
Right.
But it's the moving forward and acting on it. Should I send that message? Send it. If it's keeping you, if it's, as long as it's not a drunken message to an ex, you know, hey, don't do it. But if it's those things that says, you know, this is gonna sound crazy, but I'm gonna give this little Fredita butterfly piece to Argie because it speaks to me, and I'm gonna gift it to her. That obedience, that sensitivity to that spirit that says go do, and you do, it does this. It plants it. And I think we need to be more sensitive to that, be more aware of our surroundings, and look how we could contribute and what we can do to empower one another. And I thank you. I thank you, Jackie, for creating a space, and being able to allow us to share this story and to be able to thank Roseanne publicly, because everyone needs to hear our fairy godmothers. This is what she does. And we love her, and I'm just so excited, Roseanne. I'm so excited for you to continue to see all that comes from this. And we need to get the book in your hand.
Yes, and I mentioned earlier, I'm kind of in the winter season of my career, but that doesn't mean that I'm not going to continue to pursue my dreams. I'm a very creative person. And so I know that there's a second act to whatever I'm going to do. And I'm excited for that. I mean, that's, I wish I could do it now, but, I still have a few more years, in order to financially prepare, but I'm ready to do that second. And I think that the second act, for those of you who are scared or thinking, my life's over and you're only 30 years old or 20 and thinking I didn't go to college, or, I didn't get the dream job that I thought I was going to get, or I'm not where I'm at. Hey, life goes on, and never give up on your dreams. Age is just a number,
Yes.
Age is just a number.
Thank you for saying that. Thank you for saying that, because I've gotten questions. Are you scared? Are you sure of that decision that you made? And many people might question and say, I made the stupid decision of my life of leaving an amazing place. But others will say you made the bravest decision of your life by leaving an amazing place that gave you so much, but that you were not being fulfilled. I'm not saying I wasn't happy. Of course I was happy, but I was too comfortable. I was too stagnant. I became too settled in.
Yeah.
And I don't like to be settled in. I like to be all over the place and do more and see more and give more. And Omar's like, we do a beautiful job every day of making people happy, putting a smile on their face, informing, entertaining. But that's for our people, for the community. But what about for us? There comes a time where you want to do other things that fulfill your other half of your heart. And the age shouldn't stop us. I'm 46 and I feel like I'm unstoppable right now for some reason. I got more tools because I've gained experience through the years, and the age, it's al contrario. Look at the years of experience thanks to that number.
Yeah, yes, absolutely agree with you 1000%. I feel that, I don't know about y'all, but being in the 40s has really opened up my eyes to bigger things. Like I felt I was so limited in the law, and there's honorable things and blah blah blah, and all that stuff, but there was something brewing in me that I could not just keep it quiet. It's like yes, I'm serving clients and whatnot, but I know I can use my gifts and talents in another way. And putting this podcast is one of my gifts and talents, to showcase beautiful women such as yourselves, to showcase the love, the guidance, the love, the divine through you onto the rest of the world. Because this is a podcast that is all over. And I can't wait for all my amigas out in the universe to hear this episode and these fantastic faces and beauties. And amigas, God, I always say this, but shit, we have to end the conversation at some point, right? We'll do a part 2, right?
We will.
Yes, we'll get together over dinner and wine, and we will have a continuation.
I love that. So amigas, before we part ways, I'd love for you to give me one tip on how an amiga can handle her shit.
I'll start. This is Roseanne. So what I would say, the one tip is believe in yourself, right? Don't worry about what other people think that you can or can't do. If you think you can't do it, then you can't. But if you think that you can, that's gonna help you overcome any challenge or obstacles. So believe in yourself is a way of handling your shit.
Beautiful, beautiful. All right, next in line. Who's next?
I guess I can go. I'm gonna say, dress up, put on your lipstick, wear your hoop earrings, give your best, like your best is best, and God seriously will do the rest. He will handle it, because if you give it to the universe and you really communicate with God what your intentions are, your dreams, your even your worries, because mind you, God already knows what's going through here and what's going through here, but he needs to hear it from us. So we need to really speak to God and touch our spiritual side, and he will do the rest. Yeah. It's a living proof, and I'm living testament of that. It really, I'm scared, but as long as my faith is bigger than my fear, I know I'm going to be okay.
Amen. Faith bigger than fear. I love that. Oh my God. All right, Anna, it's your turn.
Learn to quiet the voice inside that says you're not good enough. You're not supposed to be here. There isn't a place for you. The time is not now. What are you thinking? Learn to quiet that voice, and instead take a chance on yourself and say out loud, I am enough. I'm more than this. That seat's for me at that table. This space was created for me. I'm magic. I belong here. Don't be afraid to hold space. Take up all the space that you need, and make sure that when you have those opportunities, even in a cracked, shaky voice, you share your story. And whatever way you express yourself, you share it, because that is you. And if you don't do it, somebody else will.
Yes.
The universe doesn't wait. It just moves, and God will say, okay, I've opened these doors for you, and it's up to us to step into it.
Yes. Oh my goodness gracious. Amigas, wow, 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 wow. Believe in yourself. Stop those voices in the head that tell you you're not good enough. That imposter syndrome, right? That is forever present, especially, I mean, in all of us, I would say.
Yeah, every day we fight it every day in some sort of way. You look in the mirror and, oh my God, I need to lose X amount of weight. Oh my God, I didn't say this properly. Oh my God, I didn't do this. We're constantly doing that. And we're so hard on ourselves. What happens if we were actually kind? It's okay.
It's okay.
Learn how to say it the next time you say it, right? Okay. Yeah. Maybe don't eat all those cupcakes. You know, but maybe if we were kind to ourselves and we learn how to just what we see in others when we compliment others. Why is it so hard for us to do that with ourselves? I still don't understand that.
Right. Yes, I know. God, I often grapple with that. It's today I wrote a letter to myself, to my little girl self, because I need to remind myself, like, hello, you were given these God gifts.
Yes. Stop
it. And so, and having you all and talking about this in this beautiful book that you're all a part of. Oh God, we need this again. And I can't wait to get my book and then get the next book and then the next book and then the next book. Keep on going.
Yes, you will have the series, the full series.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you so much, amigas. I love you all. I can't wait for us to see each other in person.
That's what I want. I want to see Roseanne in person, and thank you in person for what you did a few years back, and never in our wildest dreams that we think that we would be Zooming still during the pandemic, you know, but we made it happen.
Yes.
We got our shit done and made
Hell
it
yeah.
happen.
That's
The
right.
pandemic did not stop us.
Exactly, exactly.
No, sirree, Bob. No, sirree, Bob. So, amigas, thank you so
Gracias.
much for being here, for honoring, it's been my honor for you all to be here together with me in this lovely afternoon. It's not lost in me that you all are very busy women, and I'm so grateful to you all. And I can't wait to see Grandes Dreamers in every freaking school in America.
That is the plan and the mission. Thank God.
Yes.
And I will do my very best to promote it as much as I can. Thank you so much, amigas.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Gracias.
Thank you.